smart, you're dumb. That's obvious.
YouTuber Broken System, Broken Trust, and he threatened Judge Slavin not so long ago. And here's a clip from my good friend Colin, definitely not Cromwell's YouTube channel, showing just that.
So you know what? You want to make threats against me? Listen, sir, you would never be able to handle a threat against me. I'm just telling you. Just telling you. So goodbye. Goodbye. Goodbye.
You're believing what?
Goodbye.
I don't even remember that. Slavin was actually like jousting with you and doing like fraternal ego nonsense. You won't last with me, boy. You fat pig. Like, Slavin, Are you kidding? Wait till I get a hold of Slavin and his assistant, Debbie. I'm going to give him what for? Slavin, come on, man. You're going to get into it with Josh here, like about physicality and ego games. You know, Slavin better like rethink his career. Go get a job in Hollywood acting. He's a great actor, this Slavin, man. You should see him in like the back room situation, you know, when he's talking to the screen in the back room and he's just letting it all out. Oh man, this guy's such a character. Every time I think it's done with him, he's just a wealth of material.
So when people make threats against you, I'm just going to tell you right now, anybody else who's watching out there, I don't take threats very kindly. And
what was the threat that you made exactly? You tried to hold him accountable to his oath, didn't you?
Well, I did say in a live chat that I was going to detonate truth bombs all over his Zoom court.
Oh, so he's playing the game that you were trying to say that you were potentially.
But I used emojis. I used emojis when I did it, but it didn't. The threat went over like,
come on, Slavin. That's really, yeah, that's really weak, Slavin and lowbrow. You're going to accuse him of bombing the courtroom because he said he's going to detonate truth bombs in the court. I mean, you know damn well nobody's going to bomb the fucking court. Nobody's trying to attack you people. You guys are a big joke at this point. We don't want to hurt you, Slavin. We don't want to do nothing to you. We just want to have a conversation. You know, and I think that happened. We you know, not we, he. Saying like, if I was him, I would want to have a conversation with you, as he did. And you were rude and contemptuous, and you projected, and you took statements out of context, and then you kicked him the fuck out, Slavin. That ain't right. It's your courtroom, man. This is your house. It's your barbecue. You didn't have to kick the kid out like that. Try to pretend like you were threatened. Come on, Slavin, you're better than that. You're tougher than that. I expect more from you, man.
Yeah, you know what? I take him very seriously.
Yeah, you take it very seriously. You take your bullshitting very seriously.
As a man, as a free man, as a man who is
Slavin hamming it up.
I know what my rights are. And I exercise my rights. Freedom of speech. That's one of them. I like
Wait a second. Slavin is now. This is incredible. He's in the courtroom doing a monologue to himself, like trying to cope with the fact that he's a pathetic ham-like slave up there. He looks like a ham in a black dress, and he's hamming it up, playing to the balcony. I'm a man. I know my right. Slavin, this is nothing but a cope stream you're doing from the courtroom, because you know it's all done. We're all going down the drain together. Can we bond over that, you pig? Can we bond over the fact that it's all going away, and we know that none of us are men anymore? And we're all run by statute, policy, and code. And the only hope we have left is to stand on the last vestige, as Mr. Tribe says, of our masculinity, and to say this far and no further. You have the nerve to say you have the right to freedom of speech? Yeah, you're a court administrator. You could pretty much do whatever you want at this point. I thought that's what you thought. That's not what we thought, but that's what you thought. Of course you have a right to freedom of speech. Your supposed court that you apparently own and run, of the people, by the people, for the people. Oh my God. What world am I in?
Speech. Freedom of assembly. I like to hang out with people who I like to hang out with. Good people. Good, strong people who are, you know, salt of the earth. People like Mike Tinney. Good friend of mine. I also exercise my Second Amendment right. And I'm well aware how to do so. So, I highly suggest you don't make threats against me. Because I do have a right to defend myself. Everybody out there watching, have a great rest of your day.
Please take your hat off. Hats off. Thank you.
Sure. So,
Yeah, well, that's the thing. Somebody down in chat just said, Mr. Freeman there. That's the thing, is that we have Slavin's backroom court presentment with this dweeb, who they were like backstage doing some kind of. They're on YouTube now. This is how amazing it is. Like we're crossing. We're there's a concrescence. There's a convalescence where I'm on YouTube and becoming a lawyer person type thing, I guess. I'm at court, I'm upholding the law and rights, and I'm speaking, and Slavin's at court and he's becoming a YouTube star. You wonder why I say there's like some kind of bigger thing going on here in synchronicity. So Slavin's in the back on YouTube. You should go look for it. He's got a channel where he talks to this guy, and it's like raw and uncut, like those old Britney Spears TLC documentaries. Like, you think, you have no idea. This is the diary of Slavin, the judge. And he's there and he's going, I'll just tell you guys right now. And he looks around. There's no one in the room with him. So I don't know who, like, he's playing it up for the camera. He's got no viewership. No one even cares. Like, he's like a wannabe YouTube star. And I go, this is really weird. They're saying I want to be them and they're wanting to, whatever. So yeah, he goes, I'm a SOV sit. He comes out and says to nobody in the room. He goes, I'm going to tell everyone right now. Looks around the room and goes, I'm a sovereign citizen. And we're like, Slavin, we know. Like, you guys keep all calling us that, saying it's bad. And then you admit uncut backstage that you are one. And that's the problem, is you as an administrator are not supposed to think you're that. That's a bad thing. While you say that we think we're that when we don't and that it's bad, if you think you're that and you're an administrator, that's bad. Right? So you think like you're above legal policy and code and even the law, and that you're somehow a sovereign. We don't say that. We say like God makes the law, where we have to uphold that law through interpreting it with our experience and our conscience. You guys say, well, we're going to do whatever we want. We even make the law. So very strange times to be alive. Paulie's becoming a lawyer somehow off YouTube, and Slavin's becoming a YouTube star off being a lawyer pretending to be a judge, saying he's a sovereign citizen. Can we pull that one up, Josh, at some point? That clip where he says, I am actually a sovereign citizen?
Yes.
Next time I go to court, I'm going to use Administrator Slavin, regardless of jurisdiction. I'm going to say, this is an administrator who's employed right now, and he says he believes he's a sovereign citizen and gives an explanation of what that means. I concur. If that's his explanation as he says it, and he thinks he's that, well, great, because then I must be that. He's a servant of the people. Well, I am the people. So I must be equal to, if not above, who and what he is. So that's great that like Slavin and the rest of them finally broke the fourth wall, proved to us they're all bullshitting us, and then even characterize themselves as what they tried to use on us as a detriment that in actuality, in definition, makes no sense, because you can't really be a sovereign citizen. Let's just leave that little detail out of the non-versation.
About no recording device. It's not a live stream. No recording device. Just outside.
All right. All right, Mr. Lanto, can you come on up?
Hello.
Hello. This is the City of Taylor versus Joshua Lanto. You're at this table, sir.
Okay.
Mr. Greco, can I get your appearance?
Yes, Your Honor. David Greco here on behalf of the City of Taylor.
Mr. Lanto, can you tell me your name?
My name is Joshua Lanto.
Okay, thank you. All right, so today is the time and date we had set for a trial. Mr. Greco?
Yes, Your Honor. As you are aware, this case was apparently transferred to you within the last month or so, I believe. I've been the prosecutor handling this case. I was aware of the transfer, but was not aware of the jury trial date scheduled for today. It had gotten assigned to the other prosecutor, Mr. Zick. I was not aware of this until late last week, was not able to get everything together to contact my witnesses and let the court staff know earlier in the week that
Well, then I motion that we
I would not be
You'll get a chance to respond, sir. Wait for your turn.
And we're off to an absolutely blinding start. SOV sits. When you act like a child, you get spoken to like a child.
So I'm requesting an adjournment, as I honestly did not know in time. I knew of the transfer, but did not know of the date scheduled until I was contacted by the other prosecutor last week. And then, as you know, I contacted the court staff, letting you know that I would be the one holding on to the case and that there was no way for me to appear today or the witnesses.
All right. Thank you, Mr. Greco. Mr. Lanto?
I've been here about 10 times now. I asked at the very first proceeding if I have the right to a fair and meaningful hearing. Do I have the right to a fair and meaningful hearing?
I am not going to play games with you, sir. Do you need to make a motion? Is there something you want to tell me?
I have a simple question for clarification. Very simple.
I'm not answering your questions. I am here to conduct a jury trial today. The prosecutor has requested an adjournment, and I am asking you what your response to his request is.
Okay, well, it seems like you're getting really angry.
Oh, I'm not. I'm being stern with you because I'm asking you, sir, if you cannot answer my question, do you have a response to that?
Do I have a response to what he just said? I just want to know if I have in order to respond to that, what I need to know is, do I have the right to a fair and meaningful hearing? And that's it.
Well, do you want an attorney that can advise you of your constitutional rights?
I want to know from you because you are presiding over this.
Sir. Sir.
I can't come in here and watch a trial.
There is no trial, sir.
Yeah, and I mean, again, this is where they're going to pimp on you because it's fair and meaningful, subjective, and they're going to take any opportunity to inject the idea of you understanding and accepting your constitutional rights. Yeah, so I correct them right there and go, I don't need any help from some man in an outfit to understand my natural rights. I don't have constitutional rights. I have natural rights. They're protected by the Constitution, and that's only as good as the men and women upholding it. So are we acting under our oath here today, or what are we doing? You know, fair and meaningful is subjective. I could argue I've never had a fair and meaningful interaction with the majority of these folks. Right. And conversely, on the other side of things, from the perspective that I choose to hold, every interaction has been fair and meaningful because God controls the ultimate outcome. And of course, it's part of my purpose and meaning to uphold the law and truth. So it's beyond fair and meaningful as far as how I let it be. But if I was to take the average person's perspective, lacking in faith, and say the majority of my interactions with all these folks have not been fair or meaningful from the worldly perspective, if that makes sense. That's why I think it's important to go beyond. You don't bullshit yourself. You just find equity and faith and trust and meaning in everything that you choose to interact with, or you just don't choose to interact with it. I mean, I know that's a crazy idea that you don't have to present at these hearings. If you do, you're doing so voluntarily. If you don't sign any contracts and you make no agreements and you're not working in bond and trust, they can never really say that you have a duty to oblige, to perform, as far as I can tell, as far as I live. Right. So again, I'm not taunting anyone. I'm not insulting anyone. I'm not living in bravado. When they continue to let me go and don't hold me, and they wipe away clean warrants from me not presenting because I never signed paperwork and never agreed to bond with them and work in trust with them beyond what is expected through the public trust, which you could argue has been breached as soon as you folks haul me in somewhere when I've not caused any loss, injury, and harm, and try to say someone's here representing the state of, which is a what, not a who, and you want to try to railroad me on misdemeanors because my demeanor wasn't what you thought it should be because I'm your property now? Yeah, we've already breached that public trust as far as I'm concerned. So everything after that is voluntary and good faith and honor on my part. I don't presume that anyone there is going to be good, faithful, and honorable. I don't even need them to be. I'm going to make my presentment and my understanding and experience known. I'm going to press upon the record, and I'm walking the fuck out. And whether or not I return is going to be based on whether or not I see value in those presentments and meaning in those presentments and honor in those presentments or not. You don't get to decide that. I don't know where you folks all out there have come up with this belief and idea that these folks doing a job every day somehow have more value and power in their word and discernment than you do. They may in actuality, because they just may have more discernment and more ability to play the game, right? But ultimately, as far as I'm concerned, under God, we're equal. Like the Constitution says, all men and women are created equal. And then we become unequal in our inequitousness. That's what makes us unequal long term. Some folks choose to do certain things with their time, energy, attention, and resources and intelligence. Other folks choose to do other things of lesser worth, you could argue. So we're all created equal, and then some folks become a little bit more equal than others. Majority of the time based on choice, it would seem to me. And then, of course, there's happenstance and circumstance, which is kind of not in the conversation at that point.
You know we're on YouTube, right?
Oh, I do.
Right.
And thank the internet gods for that.
So I'm
Why is the right
asking
to very
you,
meaningful hearing?
sir, you are in my courtroom because there is an allegation against you that you threatened the other judge in this building.
Then why am I not charged?
Sir, I'm not a charging official.
You know,
I'm a judge. Do you want to be held in contempt of?
Dude, I gotta fucking give it to you. This kid's got some moxie, and he, you know, every once in a while, Lanto here will pull out a good question that they can't answer, right? Because I'd ask the same thing. I mean, if we're playing this game that you guys are scared and being threatened, well, that's a good question. You guys have the goods. You're threatened. Why is he not charged with threatening an official? Because you guys know it's fucking bullshit. That's why. And you don't want to have to litigate a fucking case and spend $200,000 answering his foolish questions at court, do you? And trying to make it out to be like he's contemptuous while you're screaming at him. Fascinating.
Court today.
And this fucking tard in the gamer chair thinks he's onto something, thinks he knows how the world works. Like thinks that we're Dunning-Kruger affected because we're daring to stand at court, ask pertinent questions, and call them on their pimp game doublespeak nonsense. God forbid, right? We're really crazy, stupid, bad people.
Mr. Greco, your motion is granted. The trial will be adjourned. This trial was put on a fast track when it was transferred to me.
What does that mean?
So that we could address this and so that Mr. Lanto could have his date in court forthwith. I understand that I do not have the same prosecutor as Judge Slavin. And obviously, on a case like this,
I can't get over the fact, I'll never get over the fact. You want to know how God works? It brings this kid to my Zoom, who's in this video, for a year, talking this shit. Then he winds up at court, and the guy who's his administrator is named Slavin, Slaven. You can't make this shit up, people. You want to know when God's working in your life, despite how eccentric the characters are, how wacky the experience is, how unconventional, unorthodox it is. I'm telling you, there's no way around that synchronicity. You couldn't get lottery tickets. This is why I say, I don't play the lottery because I just presume I'm so in my synchronicity at this point that if God wanted me to win the lottery, it'd put a ticket on that table. I wouldn't even need to go buy one. Somehow the ticket would wind up on this fucking table to be filled out somehow, some way. Or I'd bump into someone and they'd drop a ticket in my hand because I'm just living and doing what I do. And shit like this happens regularly where they have the balls to bring a guy who's named Slavin out to be the administrator with a Masonic Bible on his fucking desk. And when he's backstage on YouTube, he's admitting we're all right and that they're playing a big pimp game. Unprecedented levels of like Talcott says, new levels of pleasure and synchronicity for someone like me who collects these experiences. You can't make this shit up, man. It's like God is the best script writer ever.
with a history like this, Mr. Greco wants to stay on the case, and that's appropriate. He was not given notice because the notice went to Mr. Zick, my courtroom prosecutor, sir.
So whose
That is
fault
why.
was that? That's all I'm asking.
Sir, it was a clerical error. if
A clerical
anything.
error.
Okay, your motion's granted, Mr. Greco. We will get you a new trial date, sir, and I'm going to let them know downstairs that that trial date continues. Will need to be fast tracked so that we can get you on the docket as soon as
I want to get
possible.
this resolved today.
Okay,
I want to get this resolved, and I have a few questions about the charging document that I was given. Can I ask about that?
You can- Sir, you can speak with an attorney. You have a right to.
I don't want to
If
speak to
you
an
want
attorney.
to
I want
address
to.
these matters on your trial
They
date,
keep this goofy bitch keeps trying to funnel you to an attorney like he ain't asking the right. No, he's asking the right questions. We like this is the thing. I've created a bunch of these people. It's going to get out at some point that I've helped to create folks like this who are now going to fuck the courts by being as cordial and courteous and just, you know, adhering to the truth and asking pertinent questions. There's no belligerency. Slavin threw him out. He was so shook with this information. Threw him the fuck out and then put his head down and said he's threatening to do truth bombs in the courtroom. I'm afraid. And then he passed him on to this bitch who already is upset because she knows she's actually going to have to do her fucking job for one. Is what it is. Her words fast track is like lingo for in the Constitution. It says you got a right to a speedy trial. It means you're not going to keep us here for months playing this fucking game if it's not sound. So when he's asking about the charging instrument, that's more than in the realm of questioning. We need to know who or what's on that paper and who's going to show up to fucking prosecute and persecute and testify with firsthand knowledge to the facts of the matter. If we don't have that, we don't have nothing. So that's why they're kind of upset and all over and really loud and contemptuous, because some folks are starting to see through their bullshit and learn how to navigate it. And it's not going to cost us nothing. We don't need the attorney, ma'am. Far from it. That would cost us a whole bunch of money. And then we'd lose honor because we'd let another man speak for us. That's never honorable in life. I don't care what venue it is. You think I'm going to give up my honor and my dignity and my integrity, let another man speak for me, and then pay a motherfucker to be a hoe? I don't think so. I don't have any pimps in this life. No one's going to represent me. Right? You aren't either here today. You're third party and impartial. I'd already backed her to fuck up. I said, listen, you're third party and impartial. I don't know why you're exercised right now. You got something to tell us? You got some kind of business you're doing back there with conflict of interest? You should be really excited to see me here today. I'm peaceful. I'm cordial. I'm courteous. I'm asking good questions. I'm what you signed up for. Don't yell at me, please. You know? But you know, you're doing good there. You're not even reacting to her. You're not engaging her. You're just asking questions about the status and standing and the record and the facts of the matter. And her and Slavin are losing their shit. They're trying to put you in fear, and the less you're in fear and you're jostled by their fucking presentment and their countenance, the less they have power, and they know it. And the facts of the matter and the record are going to show the antithesis of the power that they have, that they're doing fraud, right? And that they're in dereliction of their duties and obligations.
I am more than happy to address your concerns. But this is not going to be a circus. This is not going to be the Joshua Lantos show. This is going to be a jury trial that is conducted with proper courtroom decorum and behavior. And that is how we will be moving forward. If you are respectful to me, we will get through this very quickly and efficiently. But I will not tolerate outlandish behavior in the courtroom. I will not.
Well.
And I don't know anything about you, Mr. Lantos.
Right,
Nothing.
right. You don't know anything
I
about
don't.
me. Let the record
I have
show them that.
every indication. I have every inclination, and I have no reason to believe that I cannot be fair and impartial in this case. I have no reason to believe that, and we will conduct that trial. But we will have proper courtroom decorum throughout these proceedings.
Right. So she's going to sit there and go, I have no reason to believe that, when it's like the 9/11 Commission investigated themselves and found no wrongdoing. Like, so you have no reason to believe that you are not going to be fair and impartial when you're already screaming at the man who is the only actual man in the room with status and standing and interest in the case. The prosecutor is not even on record, hasn't sworn in, has no firsthand knowledge of events, has no interest or equity in the matter. And right away, you've already deferred to him as the most powerful non-man mailman in the room. This is what mailman is. I'm sorry. I have a new word now I'm going to use. It's going to be mailman, not with an I, with an A-L-E. This is a mailman. It looks like a man, but it's a male. Right? It's like an animal. It's like a robot. It's like some kind of inauthentic corporate beast creature. You know, it's like mankind, kind of a man, but not really. You know? So yeah, like I already have reason to believe this isn't going to be fair and impartial because you're already deferring to the male in the room when the man in the room is asking good questions and not being belligerent or contemptuous. That's you.
Proceedings. You have a constitutional right to an attorney.
That's why she just
and
fucking lowered her voice, by the way. Go back 30 seconds and listen to her cunty fucking tone. And I mean, that's just probably who she is. So like, even though that's who she is, you could still hear the inflection difference once she realized, holy shit, I'm at court. It says honorable before my first name. And I'm doing a horrible job right now at presenting in that fashion. And this man is making me look like a complete animal by just asking simple question. She's going off like a fucking animal.
It's my understanding at previous hearings that you have waived your right to counsel, that you want to represent yourself, and that is within your rights, sir. But you will do it if you're going to represent yourself. The same rules will apply to you that would apply to any other attorney.
No, that's where we stop her right there. See, you got to stop these people because they're really good at reverse pimping. You got to remind them, no, I'm not part of the civility cult. No, I'm not part of the legal society. You're not going to hold me to civil rules of procedure with your culting games. And I'm not here to represent myself. What self would that be exactly? I can't represent myself unless there's two of me, or unless I'm going to present myself as something other than what I am originally, what we would call identifying, what they like to call it. Right. See, the devil's in the words and the terms and the details, oftentimes. So I'm here to present, right? I'm here to present the facts of the matter. I'm here by special presentment. I'm here to present my case, if you will. Because you have your case, I have mine. Open your briefcase and present your nonsense. I'm going to open mine and present mine. So I'm here to present my case. I'm here to present, my testimony, if anything. They like to use these little deceptive words and terms to change the status and standing in jurisdiction. You can't represent yourself. You can as the person and appear as the person, and that's what you want to avoid, right? That's why they start to talk to you like this, because they don't believe you really know how to retain your status and standing in jurisdiction. She's pissed off that you're calling her out on the pimp game, and she's going to get you wrapped up and reined in, if possible, and teach you a fucking lesson about this pimp game, boy. So I respect her as a player. It's just that you don't got to do all that, like, don't hate the player. Don't even hate the game. This is what you're here doing. Dual jurisdiction. I got him on record at Colorado. I'm never going to stop saying it. I need to pull up that case so I could get the transcript where that administrator said there's dual jurisdiction and then even laid him out for me. I got yous now. It's over. Telling me about his sob sit mumbo jumbo. It's right out of his fucking mouth.
You appeared in front of me.
You are the chief judge, correct?
Correct.
Okay, so it appears to me like you're getting very angry, and let the record show the only one that's been given threats here is me. You've threatened me with contempt already.
Yeah, because you're acting like a big manlet inside in court. Why do they always have that meth voice?
Okay.
Right?
No, that's you. That's that guy. Go get this guy. This is the guy. These guys, you know what? I'm not gonna. I don't even need to go there. Let me pray. I'm going to pray here. That's that guy. You're the manlet. That's you in your gamer chair with lights behind you and little bangs because you get your hair done at a salon, right? These are men who go to salons to get their hair cut by women. He's going to call people a manlet. It's just amazing, the projection. This is what I mean. Could you just give me the video of you at court? Because I can't stomach these fucking commentators. This Euro trash, weak, soft, pudgy white slave. You guys better hope I never get in the room with you. Not because I'm going to do something to you physically, just because of the look I'm going to give you and what I'm going to say to you and the energy that's going to come off me. That's enough. I don't even have to do nothing to you. Just the way I'm going to look you up and down and tell you who and what you are is going to be enough to sit with you for a while, I suspect. So sick of these, I'm almost totally cool with the administrators torturing me, putting me in a box, getting me closer to God with faith and trust and honorability and my presentment. I'm almost totally cool with the Luciferian B system players doing what they need to do to push me closer to God. What I can't stand is you soft, pudgy citizen slave cowards who have the nerve to even open your mouth on the sidelines. This has become a lot of you's job and career too. Sit around in a gamer chair and talk about what me and Josh and others are doing for your motherfucking rights, you soft punk coward. And you're against us. That's what amazes me. Could you be any more of a treasonous traitor coward? You guys are the same guys who in school sided with the bully who was a loser failure till someone stood up to him and he never showed up to fight. You guys were that guy. You were so soft and weak and cowardly. You just ride with the bully. Yes, boss. Yeah, boss. You're one of those. Till someone like me comes out of the woodwork and finally has to stand on something and says, you want to meet at the flagpole? Bring 3 of your people too. We're really going to get it on. And then they don't show because it was all talk the whole time. It was all about picking on the weak. When you finally get a motherfucker who ain't going away, they don't want to show up. That's the reality of it. All men tremble before violence and having to be liable in the eyes of God. That's the reality.
And you expect you to be fair and impartial?
Okay.
I mean, you're not going to be able to even.
Is there anything
convince these
else?
guys
Okay.
that I've done anything wrong. You have a sign outside your door that says, due to COVID, you're willing to put 6 jurors in a box with COVID. You have a sign out there that says COVID is dangerous. You're going to put everybody in danger because you don't like free speech here in Taylor.
Okay.
Okay?
All right, we're all set. This hearing's concluded. Sir, you'll get notice of that trial date in the mail. I will let them know downstairs to expedite this, and I'm optimistic that we can get you a trial date in February.
Could you please answer my question, because I think it's a very basic logical.
All right, we're all set. Thank you. We're all set, sir. Thank you.
Well, there we have it, lads and lassies. It seems like a lot of these guys are finding themselves on the wrong side of the law. And I don't mean just in terms of the wrong side of the camera. These guys are getting locked up en masse at the moment. And it's not some government conspiracy to put First Amendment auditors and free speech.
Look at this clown. Another audiologist, I suspect. Another European audiologist. With the banged haircut, with the purple dimmed lights in the background because you're so hip and cool and suave. You imagine the ego on these guys to call someone else a manlet? A manlet. That was his word, Jennifer. Joshua was a manlet. Come look at this kid. Come lay eyes on this fucking clown. He has the nerve to, like every one of these inauthentic corporate males with lights and a bandstand and a gamer chair is going to call other people manlets and betas, right? Amazing. Right out of the European Macy's catalog, right? Soft white bread clown coward. All right, I'm done. I don't even want to look at this kid anymore. And you don't either. You're about to eat, Jennifer. Go get some peace, please. God help us. She just almost vomited. She took a look at that kid's pathetic, cowardly, soft face. She almost vomited right before her meal. Sad. This is what has the nerve to incarnate. Could you imagine that's the best that his father had in that nutsack? That was the best sperm that won the race. Could you imagine number 2, 3, 5, 1,000? That's the guy. Like your father was such a genetically inferior loser, failure, lowlife that his best sperm came out and is you. You're the winner in that bunch. God, that's shocking and fascinating. I don't know if that's evidence of God, the devil, or that neither exists. And that really, like they said, this is all a Darwinian genetic soup. And this is what we're dealing with. The genetic pool is so watered down at this point that that's the best we have to offer. The majority of inauthentic corporate beta males. They're so epigenetically shut off and switched off that their winning sperm comes out and looks like that, presents like that, and thinks that rights, freedom, principles, spiritual faith is a waste of time and a big joke. In your 40s. God help us. Where am I? I have to hope that the rest of these folks out here are my people. These aren't my people. I can't project that that's all who's here. There's others here. I know their names. They're down there. Say their names. Say their names. Says angry 8-man Paul. Could you go get a life, you fucking loser? I'm surrounded by these loser parasites. Joshua, could you please get them out of here? They always come through your chat because they think you're not going to block them and they have power because they won't come to mine because they know I will. Get them the fuck out of here, please.
Okay, I will work on that. The
asswipe that accused me of being a misogynist, we're doing that. That was so 2010. We've come full circle now. Even women don't want to hear your bullshit. They love when I pop my shit. They go, Paulie boy, show us you have a dick and balls still. They're so sick of you effeminate males. The misogyny thing, calling like real men who have masculinity and are real and authentic and stand on something misogynist is so 2010, girlfriend. Could you update the program? I'm going to do it now just to trigger everyone. Ask the bitches down in my chat if they give a fuck about your goofy ass calling me a misogynist. They want you to go away. They love when I live this shit, stand for something and pop my shit. And they're women. So you don't get to speak for all women, goofy bitch. That's the difference. There's women, there's goofy bitches, and there's hoes. Which one do you think you are? So the women don't care when I talk that shit and talk about bitches and hoes and the rest of it because they're confident and faithful in themselves that they're riding under God and trust and equity and faith. And we're here bonded for the same reasons and loyalty. See, you're not having that experience. So just talk about you. Talk about how I made you upset, how I triggered you because you already subconsciously know you're a goofy bitch and a broken hoe. It doesn't bother the good, real women when I talk that shit because they don't identify with it. See how that works? Tired of you goofy bitches who don't know shit and haven't done shit trying to talk for all the women who you ain't. And I would know because I've been with both at this point. I know the difference between a real woman who's willing to ride on something and can resonate with a man and has some level of discernment, values, and principles versus the rest of you goofy bitches and hoes. And guess what? The women know the difference too. And they'll call you right out on it. You're a goofy bitch and a goofy hoe. Is it misogyny if a woman does it to you and with you? Don't think so. So stop the games. Stop your bigotry as if I can't speak the same truth a woman can without me becoming a misogynist all of a sudden. That's you, bigoted. I'm here for equality. What is what is. Let's move on. Where are we at now? I'm over time. I'm 45 minutes over time. Should I continue? Should I continue to provide and do service for free, technically? Well,
if you're interested, not to cut you off.
Yes, sir. Yes, Mr. Lantow. Mr. Lantow.
Mr. Lantow.
What reason do you have to believe that I'm not going to be fair and partial here today?
Because you just said you were going to be stern with me, which is about the polar opposite.
Yes, I'm going to be stern with you because, quite frankly, I think you're a moron. Oops, I said that on record. And I'm kind of upset that you're calling out my pimp game fraud here. Oops, the second thing I said on record. Mr. Lantow, please.
My apologies. I do have a follow-up to this.
Are you willing to let us railroad you here today? Are you willing to plead out and beg? Are you willing to cop to something and just get the hell out of here? Mr. Lantow, hello?
When my fear was ratcheted up, I used to grab my ankles, bend over, and take it. And now I just ask questions like, hey,
Mr. Lantow, I'm not interested in your father and you's upbringing. Okay? Not interested in your household affairs. Not interested in what goes on around your curtilage. That's a good word. We went into that yesterday.
Curtilage.
Curtilage. That's an interesting word. It's apparently the extension of one's domicile. Housing area, kind of a milk term or something. Curtilage, like the milk, and then there's the curtilage. It's the excess. Makes no sense. Mr. Lantow, please, you're not going to make a mockery of this broadcast. How dare you?
There is the follow-up video. I'll be happy to bring it.
All right, give me the follow-up. Where is it at?
I'll go fetch it and bring it tomorrow. I'm gonna hop off here because my battery is getting low, but hopefully I came through loud and clear and I did not disrupt the broadcast because that's my only fear of coming up here is that I'm gonna kind of interfere and fuck up your thing that you got going on. So,
I'm
thank you for
gonna
having
give
me
you a
up.
clue here that you can't actually fuck up what I do here because there's no clear direction. There's no like script. There's really no structure. And pretty much half the time, if not the majority of the time, it's pure chaos and controversy. So, you know, we just kind of go wherever it goes. But, you know, as long as you give me the freedom to be like, I'm like very administratory. Where like I come on here, and even though I love that I'm here and I love the game, I always present as if I'd rather be somewhere else. That's kind of the bit. I always present as if I'm like displeased, as if like I have other better things to do, you know, as if like everyone is just kind of a waste of my time, energy, and attention. So if you could just let me be free to emulate like an administrator on my broadcast, we'll never really have a problem. Just presume that's kind of a bit non-bit. He's going to kind of talk down to me. He's going to kind of not be interested. Maybe I even really double down and I go, hey, I don't want to see it today. I really don't want it. And then I just move forward, right? If you can accept that, we're going to be good to go. I'm not actually judging you.
Yeah, that's easy to accept. That's very easy to accept. But yeah, I'll hop down. Thank you for having me up. Thank you. I didn't get to talk to you, Jefferson, but you're pretty cool. I've seen you on the last couple of broadcasts. Oh, in your last couple of broadcasts, man, you've been fired. So just keep it up, hopefully, and keep the train moving, man.
Right.
Thank you, Joshua. Thank you for what you do, man. Keep it up.
Thank you.
Thank you.
See you soon.
Oh, man, we got a bunch of like manipulative broads who want to tell men how to be men. There's no shortage of those nowadays. Miss Mandy reacts, another one who like can't stay away from here, especially when Josh does the restream. He's just interested in bullying you. The question, Josh, is if you're going to let him do it, you just told him these are the same bitches who will break up with men and tell the whole world on the internet they're narcissists while they do narcissism. You just told Joshua how he's supposed to feel and then told him he's supposed to do something about it and then tried to gaslight him to pretend it was his idea and ask him what he planned to do about it. That's a bitch made quality right there in narcissism that a lot of you broken bitches do. And that's why successful men dump your ass like a hot potato and you go to saying they're narcissists. They're just done caring for goofy, heartless bitches like you who are deceptive, manipulative, and like to project and play power games. Gotcha. Yeah. And that's why you're going to be alone or with a soft beta male who lets you run their life without ever running their life because you never directly said anything. That's the passive aggressive power game bullshit. Gotcha.
And the goofy bitch is trying to inspire more ego in the men. It's like,
right.
Yeah.
Right.
Because
she doesn't get it. Because she doesn't get it. And she's the same goofy bitch. If she spent an hour with me, would want to be sucking my dick and then would turn around and tell him he shouldn't hang out with me. Because they're duplicitous and hypocritical. They have a power game fetish where they're like self-doubting and insecure, but they project as if they're powerful and empathic. And nothing they say makes sense or aligns. And all of their behavior shows you that they're dysfunctional and disempowered and manipulative and bizarre. And the more they talk, they think they're onto something. The more they reveal themselves. That's what I love about this game. Give me a link. Okay, you'll get a link now, Miss Mandy Reacts. Maybe you'll finally buck up like a big girl and get up here and have a conversation about your dysfunction and narcissistic, manipulative, power-hungry gaming ways. I'm bullying Joshua. Right? You keep forgetting I'm the guy who inspired Joshua to do and be what he's doing now at the courts. You missed that part over and over. We were there on Zoom privately for a year and a half, all at no cost from me, unlike all the rest of your heroes and idols online, spending 6 to 8 hours a day for a year and a half, just giving away what I understand about court and my firsthand experiences to people like Joshua and others. But I'm bullying him, right? You punk coward. You're the problem with the world today is women like you who want to divide men from men who are in some kind of loyalty and bond and honor in some process and procedure that this goofy bitch needs. And rather than her be celebrating that we're standing on rights and business and upholding the law for her, she's going to point out and try to divide how I'm bullying him. Like he's not a big fucking boy at this point. That mama's spirit from you toxic, egotistical, prideful hoes is the problem in and around men nowadays. And we're kindly asking you to step the fuck out of our way and out of our life. We don't want you. We don't want to fuck you. We don't want to co-create with you long term. You're not able to have a relationship, and you're of little to no value, especially as you age. You're basically just a glorified fuck toy that men hate fuck and then leave. So if you like that in life and you want to be that, have at it. I want nothing to do with you. See, that's the difference. I would never hate fuck a woman. I would go to therapy before I do that. But many of you are living with that person. You just don't know it. Sleeping with the enemy.
Sad, man. True.
It's every day here. Day in and day out. It's a cross section of society, and they're all one for one the same because they come from the same households, the same institutions, with the same education, the same misunderstandings, and the same personality disorders.
Yes, it's weird, man. How clone
She's another one who can't do what she says either. She's wonder why. All these bitches wonder why they can't get a good man. They'll be on social media. Where's all the good men at? Well, good men don't hang with bitches who don't care and don't do what they say. So we're still waiting 10 minutes in. Are you going to get up here or what? Another one. Give me the link. I'm coming up. Big Mama's coming up. And then 10 minutes go by, and an hour goes by, and a lifetime goes by. And the goofy bitch telling a man how to live still hasn't done what the fuck she said she was going to do. But she can't figure out where all the good men have gone to fuck with real bitches who do what they say they're going to do, the same way real bitches are with real motherfuckers who do what they say they're going to do. Give me the link.
We're down.
You thought I thought for 3 seconds you're going to come up here and interact with me? Now I'm going to cajole you and I'm going to grind on your ego. Women have ego, more ego than a lot of men. Believe it or not. Think they could do nothing in this world and have a somewhat attractive face and get by in life and get everything they want and need and manifest it. You bitches got some fucking ego, a lot more than the men I know. A lot more. Thinking you could do absolutely nothing and get everything in this life and somehow be seen as high value and talk down to motherfuckers who are doing and being and creating and living something. You got some fucking arrogance and ego on you, you goofy little bitch. I'm going to get you right today.
Preach.
Yeah, they need this. That's what these goofy bitches, they say this is abuse as they're doing narcissism because I'm checking their ego and getting them in line the way their daddy should have and never did. Giving them everything, letting them flash their little eyebrows and push their titties up, and their daddy and every other beta male in their life just folds over backwards to give them everything and provide everything. They have no idea what it's like to be in a man's shoes and have a world built off rejection where you don't even get looked at until you do be and create something.
Yes.
That's you motherfuckers' problems. You got way too high a false sense of self-value that you know subconsciously is not real. And it was built up by a bunch of enablers who really are low value themselves. So they made you think because they gave you shit that you were higher value. And that's why the majority of you women can't do long-term relationships with a real good man and keep one. Because it doesn't involve giving and getting shit. It involves who and what the fuck we are and how we move together or not.
And I just love, Paul, how she's trying to play on how you deal with your broadcast, like just how yesterday we had an argument. And it's like, dude, hey, Snafu, by the way, handle it how I did, bro. Like, apologize and straighten the fuck up. But
no, they don't. No. That's the thing. Most of these women are never wrong. They never do wrong. They're never wrong. They're never going to cop to being wrong because the beta males in their life would rather do happy wife, happy life than check them on some real shit and risk throwing it all away if necessary. I'll drop you like a hot fucking potato if I have to, even if it hurts me. Most men like myself, we got hurt from relationships 5 years ago. I still got pain from shit 5 years ago while the bitch moved on, fucked 3 more guys and had 2 more kids.
Exactly.
Tell me all about how men have more ego and are less romantic. You bitches are like soulless, many of you, right? And you got some ego on you and arrogance.
It's truly, bro. I feel every word of that shit.
That's why most men commit suicide or go on drugs and alcohol at the end of a relationship. Don't happen with goofy bitches like them. They're so narcissistic and twisted, they run around with 5 other toxic hoes fucking their little brains out. and being given validation they're living off of day to day. Constant validations and ego pump ups from their goofy bitch lion friends and all the fuck boys who give them attention. Never know what it's like to sit with themselves, to be rejected, to have to form from the inside out a being and a character that's worthy to give away to the world. You got way too much for way too long. Daddy's here now. I'm going to get you right. Still waiting for you to come up. What are we, 20 minutes in now? Goofy bitch said, give me the link, went silent in chat, still hasn't made her way up here. Probably isn't gonna, because she knows I'm fucking 99 out of 100, right on point.
Come up, goofy bitch.
Relax, Jefferson, all right? I'm going to throw you out of here soon.
All right, I'm sorry.
Don't be sorry. Just let me do what I'm doing. Relax. I don't need you to. He's kicking her now when she's down. Jefferson just put the woman in a headlock from the chat box. He goes, yeah, Paul, hit her again. Like, relax. I'm just giving her what she needs. Jefferson's like, no, actually hit her.
You're just so on point today. I had to keep throwing.
Yeah, there's a fine line with checking these broads' ego and giving them what they need to hear versus like taking out our resentments with women potentially. They're going to say, I got mommy issues because I let you put her in a headlock and kick her in the ribs. Like, believe it or not, I want to love that goofy bitch down there. I want to care for her. I want to guide, lead, protect, and reveal with her just like God would. But she's not going to let me, so I got to check her ego. Okay, here we go. I cajoled her into existence. How are you, ma'am?
I was having a hard time coming up with your link. I'm sorry.
Okay, don't be sorry. It's no way to go through life. So what's our issue? What's the point of resistance here?
You're a misogynistic bitch. That's my issue with you.
What makes me misogynist?
I don't know why your mom.
Can we not get emotional and start getting triggered and going off? Can we just have the back and forth? We just have the back and forth based in facts. So I just asked you a direct question.
Why your mom dropped you on your head when you were
again? We can do all the ad hominem. I'm asking you a question. So what makes me a misogynist?
Your language, the way you talk to women. I don't know why you hate women, but
you're presuming I hate women. I have a woman in the next room. I have love and care for her. I respect her. I value her.
Show her face, Chili DeCastro, because
I don't have to show the woman because you asked. She's been on here before. Everyone who's been here for a year and a half knows she's in my life. We just got arrested yesterday together. We're in videos.
Oh, what a great achievement. You got arrested together.
I didn't say it was an achievement. I said we got arrested together the other day.
Well, isn't that something to brag about?
I wasn't bragging about it. Why are you presenting a false narrative?
You presented it.
Can I see you? Can we see you?
I just got out of the shower. I don't look.
You just got out of the shower. That's code for you're ugly and you're not secure with yourself inside and out.
You see my picture right there?
That picture's not you. That's a Photoshop picture. More proof that you're ugly and insecure. Inside and out.
Out of the shower. I just blow dry my hair.
Give me the break with the just got out of the shower. You're insecure and fearful. Stop bullshitting everyone.
Channel.
You're not going to be able to bullshit me like you do your beta male suitors.
Josh knows me. He knows.
You're not going to be able to bullshit me like your beta male suitors. So just make it honest and real.
He knows what I look like. So
I'm not interested in what Josh knows. You're talking to me now. Stop deferring to Josh.
You're not interested in what Josh knows because you use him for his channel and you treat him
I use him for his channel. What do I need his channel for when my channel has 4 to 5 times the viewership live?
That's a great question. Stop.
That's a great question, right? I know because I just asked it and I'm a great man. So could you answer it?
Stop muting me. Why are you muting me? Are you scared of what I got to say?
No, I'm not, because you can't govern yourself and answer and ask questions in a proper manner. You're too emotional and triggered and insecure.
I was a producer for Artie's Corporate Fiction.
I'm not interested in Artie's Corporate Fiction either. Why are you bringing all these other males into the conversation? Just address your issues. Don't tell me what I'm going to do and not do. I'll do whatever I want here. You're not in control here. That's what you goofy bitches need to understand in life. You're not in control. Got it?
I will talk to you respectfully if you won't mute me. Deal?
Great. That'll work fine.
Okay. Thank you.
So how am I misogynistic when there's an old saying, if you act like something, you get treated like something. So when people act like children and goofy bitches and dumb hoes, I treat them like it and call them that to try to get them onto a path of not being that. So how does that make me misogynistic when I call men on here and I've said I have more men who are goofy bitches and hoes than I do women in my life? How is it misogynistic when I've given an equal critique to males and females using the exact same lingo and language to indicate the exact same state of condition.
And I understand that, and I do appreciate that. Honestly, I do. But
so what you just said was an emotional argument, and it was not logically factual, correct?
But do you not agree that women should be treated with respect?
Honorable, respect-able women, yes. The majority of women, females, are not that. Just like I will say with equity for men. Honorable, accountable, presentable men should be treated with respect.
Absolutely.
How about this, ma'am? Do you believe that all men should be treated with respect and like kings if they're not that?
No, not if they're not that.
Right. So we're equal then, because I believe that if you're a goofy bitch as a male or a goofy bitch as a female, you're not owed respect if you're not respect able.
I understand that, but you automatically treat women that way if you don't know them. And that's
not necessarily true at all.
But
where did you get that narrative?
You treated people in your chat that way that you don't even know.
I may presume at times and leave it open for explanation.
Thank you.
Are you going to? I'm trying to respond. I may presume at times and leave it open for dialogue to be corrected in truth, which oftentimes does not come. You're also presuming that I don't know these people or haven't had interactions with them in the past to come to my presumption or hypothesis. So, yeah, there's times where I presume about men and women. And oftentimes I'm correct because they're very similar in the way that we live and what everyone's doing.
That's true.
So until it's rebutted and corrected, I will continue to presume about males and females, especially off of what they've shown me on the record in the chat box and other places in life.
I just get very defensive of Josh because people give him a really hard time online. And I think he's a really good guy deep down. And so I'm sorry. I apologize to you.
That's fair enough. I'll accept that. That's commendable,
so
right?
Can we start over?
Absolutely. I never have a problem with you folks who do this with me. You have an issue with me and my presentation and a misunderstanding, apparently. So if I'm able to correct that with you, then of course we can go back to whatever it is that I've never left. Right.
Okay,
so again, I don't now we have more of them. We've drawn them out, which is good. This is good, you and I, because we're drawing more of them out.
Okay, great. Then I'm sorry for getting defensive.
Again, it's not about sorry. You didn't really do anything wrong. You didn't cause any loss, injury, and harm, and you don't owe me a debt. So, I don't really require an apology, and I don't think that it's good for you to be sorry if we can correct it and do reconciliation and resolution. That's evidence that you would rather it have gone a different way and that you're making change proactively toward that. So I'm not like telling you what to do. I'm just saying I don't need you to be submissive or sorrowful because we made a mistake and we're correcting it, right? It happens regularly. It's probably going to happen again.
That's fair enough.
So yeah, again, I think Josh is a bit kooky and wacky at times. Who isn't? I tend to kind of rib him and, I may demean him at times. It seems like that. I get that. Ultimately, I have care for Josh. I want him to be the best man he can be. And I somewhat respect him for doing what the majority of others won't do because they're scared.
Yeah,
so,
it must be hard.
He's kind of like a little brother to me in a sense. I rib him. I talk my shit, but ultimately we're riding on the same things. And he knows, I think on some level, why I do that. And kind of how he's perceived and viewed as a character on the world stage. And there's certain reasons for that,
Well, that's understandable. It really is.
Yeah. Like I tell him the broken soul, broken teeth thing. I bust his balls because they talk about his missing teeth, and ultimately it's like,
about that too.
Yeah. I mean, none of us are winning any beauty contests here. It's not what it's about anyway.
Well, we're just average people.
Right.
And so thank you for talking to me. I really appreciate it. And I'll look at you in a different light.
Well, thank you. Thank you for being part of the process with me.
All right. Thank you, Paul. Have a good day.
All right, Mandy. Well, there you have it. It wasn't so hard. See? All All right, I'll throw the link again. I saw a blue liner down there. If you want to come up and interact, odds are you won't, because most of you folks are cowardly. So you'll probably just like sit in your insulated hovel with your nameless, faceless account, pseudonym based, right? Just kind of let you degenerate and degrade there in your collective hallucinations of society and culture. I'm okay with that. If you're okay with it, I'm okay with it. I don't really have much choice. I wish you well. So, yeah, I think that we're pretty good on the docket. We're already over an hour past the normal ending time. Bonus content, non-tent, I guess you could say. Jefferson, you want to give final words before we get the hell out of here? There's always tomorrow. I'm 7 days a week at this point. I don't even take a day off. That's an unwavering, unswerving testimony to the dedication of my service.
Absolutely. Great broadcast. And that was wholesome at the end there, you know, making amends and bonds between male and female there. That was great. And that's all I got to say, man. Thanks for the show.
Well, thank you, Mr. Jefferson, one of the O'Shea lineage, apparently.
Where's my long lost cousin at? Where's Brian?
Yeah, that's the thing. I've learned with Brian that he, in a way, I guess it's kind of like me. The more I guess I look at it, he kind of does his own thing at times. He doesn't want to be a burden to other people. He doesn't want other people burdening him. I get that. And there's times where he goes off the reservation because he's inspired, it seems, and he's working and doing his thing. He probably listens to us at times, but he doesn't want to, again, I don't presume too much because then it gets me in trouble with them and them in trouble with me. I just live and let live, right? So I presume Brian's focused. He's inspired. He may be listening, maybe not. If he's not here, probably a good thing. He knows I want him here. I think he's good on the air at times. I'd prefer, again, if I like ideal world, I prefer he create a schedule like 7 days a week where he go, I'm going to show up with Paul for an hour to 3 hours. And then I have 4 hours before and after to pick my schedule to do TaskRabbit and work. And then I have 8 hours of time to myself to jerk off and fuck off and drink urine, which apparently he enjoys doing. Again, can I tell him to structure his day out like that when I'm lucky if I could get that done? Probably be hypocritical of me. So if he has to not be here because it's him sitting and he gets kind of, I get it. It's like you don't really want to go work, then come here, sit, then go back to work. It's like if you're going to work, you kind of want to do it all the way through. When you get off, then you take whatever is available, right? But again, I see promise in him when it comes to comedy and presentment and entertainment and on screen, if you want to call it that. I think it could go somewhere, just like I do it myself. And yeah, I'd prefer that if he did at least a half hour, an hour of on-screen presentment and just kind of working it out and entertaining and getting a rap down, getting a vibe down, a feel for himself on camera. But yeah, I'm not him. So I wish him well. I know that I want to believe he's in good spirits until he tells me he's not. I have no reason to believe he's not with me or anyone else here. I think he's just focused on living his life and doing what he needs to do, which is a positive thing.
Right. I feel that way. Hey, can we see that Lord of the Rings clip again?
Yeah, I mean, I could play that. I was going to go the hidden files, but if you're requesting that, I don't think it's, again, I think it's amazing, but that's like a testament to how not narcissistic and egotistical I am. Because I see how there's a carryover in me, like being kingly in the sense of just doing what's true and what's right, which has become heroic in a time of constant lying and cowardice. But like me as the actual king in the thing, kind of comical to me, because I'm not really a heroic sort of character, right? Like just to me, like my presentment, my voice, the way it comes off, it doesn't really work or fit. But that might just be my negative opinion of myself.
You mean pertaining to the Lord of the Rings stuff? Yeah.
Yeah, just the way something about it is kind of it's fulfilling in a way. It invokes the emotion behind what I'm doing and the correlation of what the movie ideas are and how it all fits. It's in alignment cosmically, but based on the presentment aesthetically, I guess it's just kind of comical to me. It's like me, hero, main character in a movie. I'm not that guy.
Yeah.
But maybe that's just the way I see myself, or the way I hear my own voice.
Well, it's both. To me, it's both fitting and hilarious because I almost I almost relate with that, where it's like, I know you see it as funny as fuck, bro. Like, look at your head on fucking where Aragorn is at. But it makes sense, though, at the same time. It's great.
That's the thing with Talcott Clip Collection is he really does do well with the blending of comedy and poignancy, in the sense of while you're laughing and thinking it's a joke, you're also on a certain level moved by it, right? And you kind of, come into alignment with that higher self and truth. So it's really, it works, man. I mean, I guess it works. There's no other way to look at it. I really appreciate Talcott Clip Collection and Gorilla Gems, and I'm always looking forward to their next fucking thing. Like, I literally wake up every day and I go on there and I go, did they make another one about Jack, about me? I love it. Even if it's like bad shit, it's great to me. I can't get enough of it. So that's like rewarding to me. That's their kind of tribute to me, or their value to me. That's their contribution to me, right? That's better than cash, as far as I'm concerned.
Yeah, man, I agree. That's cool. I hope they drop a new one soon. But yeah, that was my request. That shit's hilarious. The Lord of the Rings clip he made is just gold. But yeah, thank you for the really nice people could speak freely and listen.
Yeah, I don't know why he's saying that. Like they're saying that like we didn't just have that. Like, we just displayed between me and Mandy that we both have that ability. So when you see me with someone else not have that process done, it means they don't have that ability. I have that ability. Yeah, I can speak freely, listen also, interpret, read between the lines, bring us back to a place where we can understand each other and move forward reconciliation. I've done it over and over again in my life to whoever is available to that process. Most people are not. They got something to prove. And most oftentimes they're wrong. Because when you say you're all the way right and you have all the answers and nobody else has anything valid to say, which oftentimes I do hear, it's kind of a bit non-bit. But when you actually stand on that in life and you refuse to look at anything you see coming up over and over again, the same themes, that's detrimental to self. And I don't do that. I point out my themes. I go, this is the theme I'm running. This is my loop. This is what's happening. I may even know it, understand it, and see it. May not even change it. But that's half the battle, I would think. It's just being aware of it. We're all looping. Yeah. We all have different choices we make. We have different themes that come up that force us to look at who and what we are and what we need to become. Just become aware of it. Stop bullshitting yourself and others to protect yourself from how it's going to feel to make that realization. Like, trust you'll be okay when you make the realization you're a loser failure. Trust that once you realize you're a loser failure, you have nowhere to go but up, if you're that. I'm just talking about what I've learned about me. At some point, I had to go, Paul, you're a fucking coward. You're not going to get a car. You're going to get a car and then go get a license and go to the DMV and ask them for permission to use your property. That's one of the places this shit really started with me, along with like work, making a living, having to deal with my relationship to women and what I was manifesting in that sense, and how I was not fulfilling my obligations and responsibilities as a man in many aspects of my life. Like, you're not going to come here and tell me you're not going to do the process that I was forced to do, that I'm so thankful and grateful of now, that's still continuing, and you want to reject it out of hand. Could you be any more foolish? I'm telling you, I was a low-life heroin addict with no prospects and nowhere to go in life. If this thing could work a miracle on me, I can't imagine what you folks are going to do with it who are already halfway there. A lot of you folks got money. You got a career. You don't wake up fucking depressed. You're not on drugs. Sky's the limit for you motherfuckers. So get the pride and ego out of the way. Start to really look at yourself and make certain actualization and realization, good, bad, or indifferent. Then you can really grow and go to the next level. You're going to be really something to deal with at that point. That's just what I've learned from me. How are you, Mr. Talcott? Did you have something that you wanted to present before we wrap up here?
Well, that's what I was wondering. I didn't see pineal power, and I saw a chat. It indicated you wanted to wrap up, so I figured I'd come up and interrupt that, make it harder for you to do so, and just fuck with you. Say hi.
All right, that works. Yeah, I did just do that with you. It's part of what I do here, right? If I'm going to be a fisherman of men and women to bring us to some truth or understanding, then I have to make a healthy amount of presumptions to get a hook in you. And it worked, because you're now having a back and forth with me. So you're right. Doesn't change that you're right, because I still got my way, which was to get you in an interaction with me and attempt to try to cajole you up on the panel to have a conversation. Right. So oftentimes I do that. Right. I glance at the chat. I see something. I make a quick interpretation. I'm not always correct. Oftentimes I'm incorrect. And then I just start throwing and pressing buttons. Right. To try to get these folks a little bit riled up, a little bit engaged, a little bit audience interaction, engagement. Right. You know, and to try to get folks on the panel to have the conversation. As you see with Mandy, nothing else seems to matter once we come to that reconciliation, resolution, reflection point where we see self as self. So that's like always available. Like Mr. Talcott will tell you, love, peace, seeing self as self is always available. The question is, will you choose that? And oftentimes the answer is for most folks, no, because they're quite convinced we're like completely different selves. They're over there. I'm over here. They're them. I'm me. You don't know me. Right. You're something I've never seen before. Who'd you vote for is what the first thing I ask. Tell me all about how you're your own person and I've never seen what you do before. And I have a list of questions, about 5 of them, that just sews up the idea that they're not their own person and not that special. And it's something I've seen before. It's me. Turns out it's me. It's not you. It's me. Right. Remember that whole thing? Go ahead, Talcott.
It's all one. I wanted to be respectful though. Hey, you've put in the time already. And so I hope to reconnect at a later point in our journeys. Have a blessed night.
Thank you, Mr. Talcott.
See you, Jefferson.
All right. Well, I'm back tomorrow, folks. Jefferson, I'm throwing you out. I'm going to give you the Return of the King, Return of the Philosopher King. I'm back tomorrow, somewhere between 12 and 3 MDT. It's never a dull moment here. It's always you, Paul, LOL. Yes, it is. That's the thing. There's only one self here. I pretty much take it as all criticism is self-criticism, if not in this moment at one time. There's really nothing I've accused other people of being here that I haven't been at one time. So go figure that out. All right, Jefferson, I'm kicking you from the back. Nothing personal. I just don't want to be distracted. I want to move on. You can still listen. As I said, back tomorrow, 12 to 3, MDT. Never a dull moment here. Always blessings of understanding. Those are the best kind of blessings, right? Blessings of understanding lead to all the other blessings, is what has been true for me in my life. First, you get the respect, self-respect, respect the truth. Then you get the power, the empowerment, the inspiration. Then you get the money, Chico, or the value, right? Value shows up in various forms. One of them is this, of course, we know, money, non-money, that fiat, so be it. All right, I'm out of here, folks. Return of the Philosopher King. Say goodnight to the bad guy. I love you, right? I love everyone. I practice that way. I know it sounds kind of corny, but I actually practice loving all people and caring all people and seeing self as self. I respect very few. I'm going to be clear about that. And there might be some reasons to why that is. We're going to have to figure that out together. All right, I'm out of here.
It's not about an uprising. You're not getting it.
Oh, this isn't the right one. Oh, no. Jefferson, look what I did, man.
They're just corrupt. And they know who to be corrupt with and who not. I'm passionate about the truth.
Rewind. It's not the one Jefferson wanted. See? That's the one I had queued up. That's not the one he wanted. Damn it. Can't do anything right here. Such a smooth outro, too. Happens to the best of them. What are you going to do? Philosopher King. 3, 2, 1, go. Being abrasive, obnoxious, maybe not as empathetic as I could be at times.
That fellow's done nothing but stare at you since we arrived.
What I don't think you can accuse me of is not really believing in what it is that I'm doing at times.
I was there the day the strength of men failed.
The thing that I guess gives me a entitlement for some of hero is that I am willing to do at times what others seemingly aren't.
There's no strength left in the world of men.
I think that everybody experiences a substantial amount of fear. You got to go past that and say, well, what would I rather have here? Let this box be where I die? This is the limit of what I'm going to do and be while I'm here for the rest of my life? Or am I going to go past the fear and do what I know is true and what's right?
There is one who could unite them.
I don't think it's possible for one man at any time to do anything single-handedly. You can't stop an idea whose time has come.
Word has reached my ears of this Paul Unslaved of Unslavia, and I tell you now, I will not bow to this player from the north.
Ideas whose time has come are not limited to one man. There's a collective consciousness and unconsciousness. I don't necessarily look at myself as a completely individualized being. I look at myself as a tool of the universe. If you understand self and the universe, then there's really nothing you can't do or be within the laws of that universe, right?
Your time will come.
Don't tell me I don't know my own brother's heart. Ultimately, it's not about Paulie Boy, right? The incarnation of Paulie Boy and that personality and that mask. I know you because I know Paul. It's about the truth.
You will face the same evil, and you will defeat it.
He is no mere player. He is Paul, king of Unslavia, and you owe him your allegiance.
I can avoid being seen if I wish, but to disappear entirely, that's a rare gift.
You're the one from the broadcast. He who travels freely. You must be unslaved.
Only when we as individuals, quote unquote, solve our problems individually can we actually go back to the world and help solve other people's problems by leading them back to themselves to solve their own problems.
Tell us who you are. Why are you free?
They fight beside you because they would not be parted from you.
Then I shall die as one of them.
Because they love you.
I'm talking about leadership within oneself, and I'm talking about self-knowledge. The love and care of a true stoic man and leader who practices self-mastery is not the same as the love and care of a square citizen slave.
You have given us hope.
There are those who dwell in the mountain.
They will follow you into battle, even into death.
The dead? They believe in nothing. I summon you to fulfill your oath. They answer to no one.
None but the king of Unslavia may command me.
They will answer to the king of Unslavia.
That's called being daddy in this realm for freedom. The day may come when the courage of man fails, when we forsake our friends and break all bonds of fellowship. But it is not this day.
The end has come.
It will not be our end, but his.
You cannot think that this Paul Unslaved could ever be free from bondage.
That's where leadership and honorability and conversion through conversation comes in. When you actually lead and do what's true and what's right and for the right reasons.
This exile crept from the shadows will never be crowned king.
Authority is not given to you to deny the return of the king.
You guys don't even understand what a philosopher king actually was and is. It's the guy on the bottom, in the front, leading from the front with the most sacrifice and the most to lose.
They say that it is hopeless.
The king is looking back to the quote-unquote subjects or to the members of the kingdom going, let's go, folks. We all have to emulate this same archetypal vision of what man and woman is. I ain't separate and divided here. The same blood flows through my veins. Don't give up. I would have gone with you to the end. Into the very fires of Mordor.
The battle for Unslavia is about to begin.
It is an army bred for a single purpose.
You're outnumbered now.
To end the world of men.
I followed you, my brother.
An hour for wolves.
Captain.
And shattered shields when the age of men comes crashing down. Ride out with me. But it is not this day. This day we fight. Ride out and meet them. Slaves and free men alike, men of the West.
You will need your help before the end, Paul.
Let this be the hour. Let we draw swords together. The horn of Helm Hammerhand shall sound in the deep one last time.
The kingdom of heaven is few. This teaching seemingly is for a passionate minority who is going to exemplify and be the change for themselves. Long have you hunted me. The wicked flee when none pursue, but the righteous are bold as a lion. The word of truth is so strong you can stand as one and be more powerful than all the legion. of Shaitan. This day does not belong to one man, but to all. Let us together rebuild this world, that we may share in the days of peace. Unslave you. You bow to no one.
God of all media.